Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me this morning on Regan Says. I'm your host, Regan Adams, with All Things Regan. So thank you for joining me this morning. Let's get started. So if you have been watching me for any length of time, you know that Regan Says is a vlog that I do every Monday, but I tend to throw some out there during the week sometimes. And it is based on things I like, love, think, or have experienced. Sometimes I also throw in different conversations that I've had with different people pertaining to different things. So it's all based on my opinion, what I've gone through, or what I think. It's not factual, even though I may have some references for you to check, maybe Bible stuff or whatever, but most of the time it is my opinion, my experience, and anything that I've gone through. And this week I had to talk about this, and it's almost like I feel like I've talked about it before, but I've repeated a lot of videos. But this one I feel like I have, but I'm not sure, and I'm probably still going to repeat some things that I've repeated before, but just stick with me because I still think it's a good topic. So Regan says, "Can I take you out tonight?" So I have a book, Putting Me First, and it's more of a journal because it just gives it's 16 weeks. It's a work journal. So it's basically the process that I took to make sure that I put myself first. And it was different things that led up to where I'm at right now. And I still really could add on to the book because I wrote it, 4 or 5 years ago. But one of the chapters in the book is "Can I Take You Out Tonight?" And it came from, I didn't talk about the whole thing, but it started in 2001. I recently re-enrolled to get back in college in 2001. I was kicked out in 99, I think, 98, 99. And I came home for a little while and I went to community college, and then I decided to go to another college in another area, which I still wasn't ready to go, but I went anyway. But when I went in 2001, well, let me back it up. When I went in 97, initially, once I graduated from high school, I went straight into college. And when I went with like a big group of women or girls. Well, we're women, 18, but I don't count. I think it was like 10 of us. So we were deep, like from Knoxville, and went to ETSU. So it was a lot of us. And we all were like a big tribe. So we were like the girls from Knoxville. Like they actually had a name for us. I don't even know what it was, but we were always in like a big group, the girls from Knoxville. And so when we traveled, or we went to, like, we called it main meals. So like the eating area or the student center or wherever, you never caught one of us really alone. We were in, if it wasn't the big group, it was small, clusters of us. And for those 2 years, I was used to always being with a group, even though I was the only child. But when I went to college, I was used to being in a group. So fast forward, came home, stayed home for a couple of years. And when I went back to school, I went to UTC, which I hated, but I got kicked out of there too. But anyway, I wasn't ready to go to school. But when I went, I was alone. Now, mind you, I had a friend, Courtney. She was there, and Jocelyn, a girl I went to church with, and we were cool. But other than that, I didn't really know anybody, and I met a couple of people. But going in, like, they already were there for a while. They had their own friends. Of course, they were nice, or whatever, and I would hang out with them occasionally, but I was basically there alone. And so when I was used to going to the student center, with all the other girls, I had to go by myself, and that terrified me. Just to know that you go from a large group of people, and then if you want to go eat, you got to go eat by yourself because you don't know anybody. If you're walking to class by yourself, you're doing a lot of things by yourself. But I thank God for that opportunity, because in that, I got to learn to love myself, and start loving myself, knowing myself, enjoying my own company, and just kind of finding out different things about me, because I was still growing up. I was 20, I don't know, 20. I didn't go back to school at 23, so I was like 20, 21. So just that was the start of me kind of getting in touch with who I am and learning how to be alone and enjoy my own company. So fast forward. I still do that from time to time. I love to be by myself. Let me just put that out there. Now, I know you guys see me do a lot of group activities with other women. I'm like, hey, you guys want to tag along, go get your feet done, or, you know, let's go to dinner and a movie, whatever. Yes, I like to be in the company of others, but for the most part, I don't mind being by myself. Like, I love I love being by myself. I can go, well, let me back it up because I don't want to fast forward. Get too ahead of myself. So in the book, I kind of touched on that, but then I kind of fast forwarded. When did I start? I think over the course of the years, I would start taking one thing that I conquered was going to the movies by myself, because I always thought like it was really lame to go to a movie by yourself and go at night when, you know, most people have dates or whatever. Excuse me. So I went to the movies by myself. I took myself on dinner dates where I would just sit there and eat by myself and not learning or feeling like people were looking at me, which people really, it's just a mind thing. Nobody's paying you any attention. So at that point, you know, I would go maybe to the bar or go sit at a booth or whatever and just enjoy myself. So now I don't have a problem with being by myself. So now we're going to fast forward. These past 2 weeks, I have been in conversations with several people having the same problem. So I'm like, dang, let me speak on this. Because if these people are having the problem, obviously there's going to be some other people, or probably there are going to be some other people who are having the same problem. So let's see how I can tell it. What I am finding and what I'm hearing, and it's so funny, let me just kind of backtrack, sidestep. I don't know why people think I have all the answers to this thing, but I give it a shot and I just tell it from my perspective. So I could possibly be wrong, but I'm going to always give you what I think and what I know to be true. It may not be true for anybody else, but if you ask me, I'm going to give you my opinion. So several people have come to me over the past couple of weeks and saying, I really want to be in a relationship. Like, I really want to be in a relationship. I feel like I'm going to be very happy if I'm in a relationship, and I don't want to be by myself. I'm lonely. I don't want to be by myself. Now, coming from somebody who loves to be by themselves, I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't mind. Even like with my husband or whatever, if he's not here or, you know, in the house, or we're not sleeping together, I still don't mind sleeping by myself. I don't care. I don't have to be. And we never really slept up under each other anyway. I'm like 50 feet. So I'm cool with being alone. So my question always to them is, when is the last time you dated yourself? When have you taken yourself out? You know, and some people that want to date don't go places where you can catch a date. Like you're working home. You're not going anywhere to be seen, to be put in the eye of somebody else. So, but aside from that, my first question is always, when have you dated yourself? Are you cool with being by yourself? Or are you just anxious because you feel like if I get somebody, I'm going to be happy? But really, you should be happy with yourself. And I really believe that was with me being comfortable with who I am and being happy on my own. I always knew I was going to be married. Like, I knew I was marriage material. Sorry, not sorry. I was prepped for it. And I always knew I was going to be married. But I was happy before I even got married. Like, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I got to have somebody. That was never like on my mind, because I always knew that I had priorities. So once I went to school, got kicked out twice, 2 or 3 times, I went back. But when I went back, my mind was like set, like, I got to get this done. Graduated, make sure I had jobs lined up. Like, I was all about making sure I was straight, because I knew if I wasn't straight, I couldn't possibly assist a man in any way. Yeah, I knew, I got my tail to bring to the relationship, of course. But what else can I give him? I never wanted to be just a man's wife. Like, housewife is not in my plans. Like, that's just not, I mean, that's cool for some. That was never me. I knew I always wanted to be separate but together. So I knew I wanted to compliment my husband, not just be, oh, this is his wife. No. And I knew I had to get myself together, and I wanted to bring something to the table when I got married. That was just me. So I spent my time working on me a lot of the time, and I still work on myself. But definitely at that time, those college days, and, just trying to get my life back on track, I made sure I worked on me. I made sure I was getting comfortable with me, with my mind and the things that I wanted out of life. So anyway, that is like the main thing. I think a lot of people that are single are afraid to date themselves. And I really think a lot of us don't even know ourselves. And I can say that because I'm 39. I'm still learning stuff about myself. I still have like insecurities. I'm still working through stuff. I think we're always going to be working through different things. But when we take our mind off of the relationship and making sure that we're working on us, then, that mate will come. I wasn't looking for my husband. I wasn't. Any boyfriend I had that was like a real boyfriend, I was never looking for him. Never. They just kind of were there, just to be honest. But I always wanted to make sure that I was in the right position to be found, I guess, or to be, just to be a helpmate. I knew I wanted to be a helpmate. So anyway, I'm kind of veering from what I'm saying, and I'm all over the place. What did I say? Okay, so I talked about learning yourself, how to be by yourself, stability. Yes. So stability to me right now is very, 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 very important. So even when I didn't have myself together, and I've spoken about this, I've always been the one to work. When I was in high school, I had 2 jobs, and I didn't have to have 2 jobs. When I was in college, I had 3, and I was getting a VA check because my dad was in the Marine Corps. So college time, I was straight. But I always like to have things. So I worked a lot. I worked a whole lot. I think I was more concerned, I'm going to be honest, with making money than I was for my school stuff. And I think that was another reason. Like, I was partying and working. Like, I always had to make sure I had some money. So stability really has always been important to me, especially now as an adult. And if you're not, my opinion, I could be wrong. If you are considering being in a relationship, your first question, second question, really first, is, are you stable? For me and a man, and I've said this before, I've never really been, like, I can be attracted to a man, and this is past tense for my husband. So anytime I'm talking, it's past tense for my husband. I am going to touch on my husband. I can always be attracted to a guy, but once I got to know him, if he didn't have a goal, if he didn't have a plan, if he didn't have a job, if he didn't have his own stuff, I couldn't deal with him. Like, it would only take me so far because I needed to have somebody that could lead me. Like, I'm an alpha female, like, all day long. But if I had a man that could lead the way, like, I'll get behind you as long as I know you're taking me somewhere. And if you're not stable, there's nothing you can say to me. That's for any, like, the ladies that I know at this age or a little bit younger than me that are dating and are single. If you're not stable, if you don't have the basics, the basics like your own home, you can own a car, a job, and where you're able to, be stable on your own. I'm not saying that our bills, well, yeah, I am. Be stable on your own. There's not too much you can say. I had somebody tell me one time, they're a little bit younger than I am, and they said, well, this person works a couple of jobs. owns her own home, owns her own house, is grown, a grown woman. All right. And she asked me, she said, well, why can't I, if I find a guy and maybe he doesn't have a car, maybe he's not working just now, and we can build together. What are you building? He's not your son. That sounds like a son, a child. You don't have time to raise a man. Like, listen, I'm all independent woman. I got it. Listen, I am. I'm about working. I'm about women can take care of themselves. I'm women's empowerment all day. But the job of a man is to be the head of the house. I'm sorry. That's how God designed it. He's the head of the household. And yes, I understand getting together and building with your husband or with a man, or, but at this age, 30s, you're going to need to have something. Like, you can't just come in the relationship with nothing and then you talking about building. No. Again, you're going to have something to bring to the table besides your tail. Right? Yes. If you want something that is meaningful, that's just my opinion. I don't want, and I know I talk about money quite a bit. I know I do. The Bible says it answereth all things. I'm not money hungry. I'm a very hard worker. But I'm telling you, if I'm going out and I'm busting my hump every day, I don't want a less than average man. You have nothing to say to me. If my husband was anything less than what I am, we wouldn't even have the first conversation. Matter of fact, when I met him, like it started, like I said, I met him young, but I knew right off the bat once we started, communicating on a regular basis and getting into the actual relationship, his hopes, his dreams, his plans. He had a restaurant right in the kind of the beginning of us talking. And, I saw he had big dreams, big aspirations. I knew he was a provider out the gate. I've seen him stay up 24 hours to make sure, even once we got married or even before we got married, that I always had what I needed, what I wanted. He's always sacrificed, and you think I'm about my coin. That was another thing that attracted me to him. He's about his coin. He's about his coin. And I love his mind. I love his mind. I love my husband's mind. I love big thinkers. And I actually talked about this yesterday. This is a side note. One thing that's always attracted me, even before my husband or with my husband, to men in general, is I like to see men in business. I like to see men, how they conduct business, how they conduct themselves, how they're put together, how they are just men. I love to also see that in women. No homo stuff. But when people are sure of themselves, they're assertive, they're big thinkers, they have big ideas, their presence is big, just conducting themselves in just a mighty manner. I love that. That is so attractive, and not attractive like I want the men and I want the women. I'm not saying that, but I just love to see people in that element move around. And, for a man to be a man, it's like, or a woman to be a woman, it's attractive. And it's like, if you have those qualities, you shouldn't want to settle for a relationship that's less than you. Like when I'm dating or with my husband, we got to have something to talk about. Anytime I'm with my husband, even now we talk about our future. We talk about goals. We talk about, our legacy. If you're not stable, you don't have nothing to talk about. We don't have nothing to talk about. What are we talking about? Take me more than just out to eat. Now, granted, I like a good meal. However, what are we going to talk about at dinner? We going out to go hang out, but what are we talking about? I love information. Every day I'm on Facebook. I'm on social. Let me wind this up. I'm on social media quite a lot. during the day. I have a desk job during the day, so I'm at my desk. I may have clients every now and again, but I'm basically on social media for the most part. But I'm always, every day, Monday through Friday. Yeah, Monday through Friday, I'm plugged into something. If I'm on a road trip, I'm plugged into something. I'm learning something new every day. Every day, I want to learn something new. If it's not another word, if it's another country, another, business idea, business tip, whatever, I want to learn it. I want to learn something new. I got a book yesterday, Think and Grow Rich. I've been wanting that book forever. And I have it now. So guess what I'm doing this weekend? I'm getting in my book. So let's see. I think I said all I need to say. Work on yourself and what's attractive and what attracted me to Boo. Yeah, I don't know. I guess with the relationship, I was just never pressed. And I guess I can say that because I've been married for a long time, and I've had relationships, and I don't know how people, single people feel and not, having a steady relationship, because I have one. And I never want to be insensitive to that. I don't, because nobody wants to be lonely. I got it. Nobody wants to be lonely. So I never want to sound insensitive about that. But what I will say is make sure that you are where you need to be, like even emotionally. I know sometimes I can be emotional about certain stuff, or even like, with my husband. Women tend to be emotional creatures, and we always want to know things. And this is a side note. We always want to be in the know. I know I do. I want to know everything about everything. And I guess that's why I wanted to be in psychology when I first started school, because it's like, why do you do this? Why do you think that? Why are you moving this way? Everything has to have an answer. I want to know why about everything. Tell me everything about you before I fool with you. And some women are like that. We're emotional, but we have to learn to get those emotions in check. And also, side note, which I've said this before, don't be clingy. Men don't like clingy women. But I'm like that. And I've said this before 1,000 times. I don't like to be clingy. Like I want what I want when I want it. Yes, I do. I am still spoiled. I want what I want when I want it. But when I don't want to be bothered, I don't want to be bothered. And I think that's one of the traits that my husband loves about me, because he's the same way. Not clingy at all. Like when we have our time together, that is awesome. Like we have our time together, and it's good stuff. But if he gotta go, and if he want to go and hang out with the boys, or be at home, or go on with whatever, and I can go and move around, that's what we do. And it just, to me, absence makes the heart grow fonder. You don't always have to be so needy, and men can sense that, and even men can really sense neediness. It's like a radar that goes off. But women, we can too. And there's nothing like a turn off. And this is just me, because like I said, I had a fella, and I'll never forget. He always wanted to be under me. And there is nothing like a man that was like, can I please just come over there? I just want to see you. I'm already turned off. Like I'm turned off because I feel like you're not going to be like, what am I trying to say? Like you can't be happy without me. And I don't want to feel that way. I need to feel that you got your own life outside of me. Like, and that's what I was saying, or trying to say. Relationships can end at any time. Marriages can end at any time, God forbid. But if you're not happy outside of yourself, what happens when that person leaves, or if they leave, or if they die? What are you going to do? If you're not happy outside of them, yes, you'll be sad, but when you got your own stuff on, you can move on. Like I said before, I love my husband. I love him. Got a lot of time invested in him, a lot of tears invested, a lot of money, a lot of everything, a lot of mental stuff, a lot of stuff. I love him. Don't plan on going anywhere. However, God forbid something happen, and he says, I want to leave, I want out. Cool. Now, mind you, I'll be sad. Not gonna front it out. I'm going to be sad. However, I will bounce back. And guess what? I'll get married again because I love being married. I am a good wife. I can honestly say that. Am I perfect? No, but I'm a very good wife to him. I have been a very good wife to him. Not perfect. Make a lot of mistakes, but I'm a very good wife to him. And so I love being a wife. I would get married again. And I will be a good wife to that, that next husband. But I'm just saying, be happy with who you are single and work on yourself while you're single. So when that man comes, then it's just like, shoot, you already complete a whole person coming together. You can't beat that. You can't beat it. And not to say it's not going to be perfect out, it'll be perfect all the time, but I don't know. I just wanted to speak on that. Just be happy by yourself. And I know I've spoken on this before. I've had to. I have to, because I know I found myself repeating a lot of things. I want to make sure that's all I needed to cover. I think that's it. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to go to bed, honey. Y'all know I pre-record these. If you have any questions, rebuttals, are you upset? Whatever, inbox me. I know a lot of people after my videos, y'all don't say anything on the videos, but you hit me on my back end on the inbox, and that's cool too. That's cool too. I really appreciate you guys watching. If I haven't said it before, my mouth is very dry. I need some water. But I really appreciate you guys watching and supporting me. I really do. I thank everybody who has purchased tickets for Atlanta for next year. If y'all actually went and looked at the website, I still have that sale up. So I haven't removed it yet. I will probably do it tomorrow because there's nothing else popping tonight. I'm a bit tired. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to let you guys know about? I just hope if you're single, I just encourage you to just wait it out. I know what it is to be lonely. Like, I got it. But just don't settle for less than what you deserve. Really, don't do it. Don't do it. And I know it can be, listen, I know it can. And I'm not saying I haven't made any mistakes along the way. Like, my dating life was just perfect, because I've dated some boogers, honey. Woo, girl. Listen. And my marriage ain't been no cakewalk either, truth be told. But I love my husband. I do. And right now it's been worth it, because it's all been a learning experience. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning a lot about myself. I'm still learning what to do and what not to do on a lot of different things, and making a lot of mistakes along the way. Just being honest. So I feel you. But anyway, I'm going to hop off here. Like I said, if you have any questions or concerns, inbox me like you have been doing. And I'll talk to you later. allthingsregan.com. Bye.